Hello, Randy Rain here, and I'm doing it. I'm doing it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's hit and missile. And if you still don't know what I'm talking about, you haven't seen what's inside this thing. I have. I've opened this up several times and put it right back together. This is basically like your digital derby. It has like a film strip type of thing going across, controlled by motors. And in this case, you have this missile launcher that's a guided missile that you try to hit these little helicopters and airplanes and whatnot. Now when I put batteries in this one, it turns on and the little helicopter and the airplanes go by, but it keeps firing the missile over and over and over again, and none of the hits register when you actually hit one of the targets. So yeah, it's very similar to the mechanisms in here of all these games, but this one is way more complicated. Wait till you see what's inside of it. And so I guess I'm ready to give it a shot. I tell you, I really like the look of this game. I like how the circle part extends past the square part here. That's stylish. So you have to take the knob off here. And then these two ends pop off. And these have black screws. And then there's 4 back here, and then there's one that you can get to after you take that piece off. This is the fire button here. This is what's supposed to be activating it going. The timer circle pops off. This comes out. You can undo this section here. Yeah, look at this crazy thing. Yeah. And this is the missile. Okay, so right off the bat, I see this gear right here just spinning. That's why the counter isn't moving. And it's because it's cracked. And you know how I like cracked gears? Look at this. That's a bag of 10-tooth gears right there. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm going to desolder this solenoid. That way I can move this out of the way a little more. So I can see the gears. No cracks on the motor gear. Not really seeing a crack anywhere else. Okay, you ready for this? So the motor sets right in here, and this gear is going to be riding and touching this gear right here, okay? It's another one of those crown gears underneath there. It's going to be spinning it this way, okay? Now this gear that it's spinning, if I pull it up, you'll see that it has a little metal plate on it, and it has these little satellite gears. It has 2 of them. And you'll notice it has 2 little notches that stick out right here. So when this thing spins, it can spin the whole thing like this. But if something touches those notches and holds it, well, then it starts spinning like this. But then when it lets up, it'll start moving like this. And get to the next notch, and it'll start going like this. And so those 2 little gears are going to be connecting down here. And if you look right here on this solenoid, here's the little thing that's stopping it. Here's what's grabbing that notch. So when I put this back in, Hopefully these gears don't fall out. You can see as I spin it around, those gears are turning with it. But eventually, it gets caught. And now, it's spinning these gears here. Now everything's moving. And this one gets transferred to here. You can see it comes down here, and it goes all the way, it moves to here to make the film strip move. If I take that one away, that stops it. But that's making the film strip move. There's also a gear that I have off here, like that. And now it's connected here, and this is for the timer. So it's going this way, which turns this gear. This looks like it flips a switch here. I'll get to that. But then it transfers to here and comes down to the timer over here. If I leave this gear off so we can see, and I spin it some more and look on this side, you can see it's also turning that gear. And this is the button, okay? So when you push this button down, you're pushing it down so that this gear can go. Yeah, so you can see there's just gears under here, a little spring to keep it up. So when you push down, this gear connects with this gear connects with this gear. So as long as you're not pushing that down, it doesn't do anything. But then when you push this down, it starts turning here, and then this turns, and then now we're to the firing of the missile. So this metal plate down here on this gear is being touched by these right here. Not exactly sure what those do at the moment. But at some point this solenoid is going to get triggered and it's going to pull this in. And I just noticed that this is like extremely hard to push. I mean, it's getting a little looser with me doing that, but I don't see that. I mean, it's so stiff that the spring can't pull it back down. But that's supposed to go like this. So now when it spins, it moves to the next notch. That causes everything to move. So now this gear is touching this one, and this one is going to this noise maker up here, connecting to this gear. And then that other gear is down here, and it's connecting to something underneath this solenoid. Oh, I see what it's doing, and it's genius. Oh, this is so brilliant. Okay, let's go back to here. So I'm pretty sure when this thing comes back, that's when it hits this right here. So you see something activating here is hitting this. That's hitting this arm right here. If I move this back over to where it was, you can see this arm is deactivating this solenoid. So then it allows the solenoid to go back down, which is the problem here. This thing is stiff as a board and they can't get back into place. So it goes back down. So now it's back to there. But then as soon as it's activated, the solenoid's activated, it allows this to move to the next spot, and it's now stopping the next notch. That puts this gear over to here to this noise maker, but it puts this gear traveling back here, but now it's on this one and it's reversing everything. So now instead of it connecting straight to here, it's connecting to another little idle gear that then gets connected to this one. So now this is all turning the opposite direction. And when it's turning the opposite direction, that allows for this to turn, because this only turns one way. When you do it the other way, it doesn't turn. Turn the other direction, it advanced the score. And then finally, something here, I'm not sure yet what's going on here. When this resets, it comes back down. Again, it pushes this lever, which pushes this, which deactivates the solenoid, which allows it to drop back down. I bet you that everything that was working with the explosions, this is all just very, very stiff. I'm going to put some WD-40 all through this because it's getting better, but the spring wasn't even pulling this down, and the spring isn't even pulling that down. Oh, much better. Okay, so these tabs have to touch that metal plate, and I got to get these down in there to touch that one. That might be a little tricky. I wonder if I can put it in afterwards. I'm going to try it. Okay, those two screws hold the gearbox together, so I should be able to pull it out. I should be able to slip this down in there. Oh yeah, snap it in there. Well, that's how you do that. And solder these wires back. So now I'm going to take this unit out here and see if there's anything wrong. And let's see how it works. Okay, this pulls out. And this pulls out. So yeah, here's the tabs down here. They move back and forth. On the bottom of here, there's a metal plate, and there's little spots here like this where it can touch sometimes. So if I push this, it moves that forward. Okay, moves it forward so it gets to there. And then it allows it to come down. Okay, it's switched. Okay. And boom. Okay, I got it. So you have these terminals down here, and they could be touching this bottom plate down here. And if they are touching, that means the missile isn't on top of one of these helicopters or the airplane. That's why there's two of them. And that's sending the electricity down through, and it's coming to here. And there's a little tab right here, and it can touch here and it can touch here, which would be the two planes. So if it's traveling, this is traveling like this, the missile's going, and then it starts to push to here. So if this is touching, this tab down here is making contact down here, which is going to ground, then the circuit is complete, which activates the solenoid. Or if it doesn't hit that one and it keeps on going up to here, and it hits that one here, that would be the airplane, so that also will connect and complete the circuit, which activates the solenoid, which activates the explosion and the scoring, and it's probably what's going to light up here to make the explosion. So one of these is making it go out, and then the other one is going to start bringing it back. Like so. So really I just need to make sure now all these things line up down here. That might be kind of tricky. On the back side here, there's this gear here, and it has a little lip on it, and that keeps it from sliding off because it's riding on something down here. This is coming up here. So this ends up riding on down here. So if I push that all the way that direction, and that right goes to there, then that would mean this should be all the way this direction, I think. Get this into place. There we go. Okay. And so if that's all the way that way, I think that's it. I think this thing might actually work now. Alright, let's see what happens now when it gets turned on. Go ahead and put the switch on there. Go ahead and put the dial. Got it. It works. Almost forgot about this little spring down here. This little spring. Like that. That keeps that little flap up. Also, these wires get poked down in here. Now this can go in. Alright, now I'm going to give it a go. Follow the instructions here. To begin, set the timer by turning the timer reset dial to the start position marked S. That would be right there. Marked S. That's on S. Reset the score to 0. Okay. Zero. Turn the power switch on and the enemy aircraft will fly overhead. Now prepare to pursue the enemy aircraft by aiming the missile control dial. Push the fire button and your missile goes on the attack. You can control the missile in flight by turning the missile control dial until your missile hits its target. Hit the low-flying aircraft and your score registers automatically on the digital score readout. Guide your missile to the faster, higher planes for a higher score. Oh, that's interesting. Play until the timer runs out. Reset the timer and score readout and play again. Alkaline batteries are recommended. Alright. Let's give this a go. Oh, there we go. 54. Well, hell, that was easy. Little squirt of WD-40, a new gear, and piece of cake. But really and truly, if I hadn't worked on all these other Tomy products, I couldn't have done this one so easy. This one really is pretty difficult. But hey, if you like that one, I've got more coming up. This one is a little motorcycle one called Daredevil. It works the exact same way. So I'm going to be jumping to that. So if you like this kind of stuff and you like this video, then you know the drill. If you want to see more You know the drill. I want to thank these people right here. These are patrons. They've helped me out so much on this, and I thank them all. And if you want to become, of course, there's a link and you'll figure it out. Anyway, I don't really have a catchphrase here. Let's see. Well, that's it for the moment. No, not that. Let's see. Randi out. No, that's stupid. Maybe I could like I could call you something. That you're the retro squad. No, that's even dumber. Let's see. Hey, how about a stupid, corny joke? No. Bloopers.